here we go. Sarah here. Welcome back to another episode of You're Fucking Welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about, quite honestly, just a couple of random things. This episode could basically be called like what's on Sarah's brain, but there are two things that were coming up for me when I thought about what I wanted to talk to you about today. And they're both essentially challenges for you and challenges that I've kind of been putting myself to over the past week or so. So the first one. I've been working with, I think I mentioned it on the podcast, but I've mentioned it a couple other places that recently I made a couple exciting investments in my business. One has been working with an agency, and today, as I'm recording this, we just relaunched the website. We've got new branding and lots more stuff rolling out thanks to that agency. So I'm really excited about that. But the other investment that I made was to work with a brand group. And I'll talk more about that as we progress because I really want to fill you guys in on it. But it's also kind of like a new, just like a new stage, a new process for me. So I always kind of like to wait a little bit more and make sure that, that I feel good about it, that I've integrated things before I bring it to you. But so far, it's very early on, but so far it's been a really great experience. And I essentially hired them because, as you know, for years now, I've been, I have prioritized making money. I have prioritized selling every day, and I have enjoyed really doing everything from coming up with new programs to doing live group programs and talking to more people. But I also really understand that as my business grows, or more accurately, if I want to get to the place that I want to, where You're Fucking Welcome is more of a mainstream brand, we're focusing more on press, I'm focusing more on writing the book, I know that some tweaks need to be made. And I don't say this in an arrogant way, but I really sincerely feel like when it comes to like an overall brand, the overall vision, I can help somebody do this so beautifully. I get it. I see the big picture. I see what makes sense, what the message should be, so on and so forth. But naturally, just like we all do, I struggle when it comes to myself, right? I struggle to take the emotions out of it, and I struggle to really zoom out. And so I've hired this company to really help me with everything from making sure that, the book message aligns with what the speaking engagements actually bring to people, so on and so forth. Again, somebody who can see things, see the bigger picture from a more strategic lens and not such an emotional one, the way that I do. And so one of the first things that I was working on as part of working with them is just going through, a brand exercise, and I was brainstorming. And one of the questions, it's a very simple question, but one of the questions was, in one word, what problem do you solve, or what solution do you create for your people? And I'm such I'm not a rule breaker. It feels like funny to say that. I don't know. As a side note, I don't know if any of you have read or if you've taken the quiz, Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies, but I just started going through that as a suggestion from somebody else. And I'm a rebel, which is comical to me. I've never gotten in trouble in my life. I follow the rules. But when it comes to a lot of things like expectations I have on myself, if I have something on my calendar, there's that part of me that naturally wants to rebel against it, right? And so my point in saying that is, as I'm doing this exercise, I'm trying to convince myself every which way, like it can be 2 words, and no, it doesn't matter for me. Like I'm just going to put what I want. And I kept coming back to like, no, Sarah, like push yourself a little bit here, challenge yourself to actually do this exercise. And I feel like, as we all do, what I do is so big. It's so important. I'm so passionate about it. It helps people in so many different ways. The concept of being able to sum it all up in one word, it literally felt like you were pulling teeth. I was struggling with this for days because I wanted myself to do it, while at the same time, again, like I just couldn't see and I couldn't understand how I could ever possibly sum it up in one word. But of course, as it always happens with things like this, when I was naming Ellie, I was going back and forth and trying to figure out what Ellie's name was. And I was like, I know as soon as it comes to me, I know that's going to be the one. And it was the same thing with this. I'm like, I know as soon as that one word comes to me, I know I'm going to get lit up, and I know it's going to be so obvious to me that that is the word. And for me, again, it took me days. The word is fulfillment. That is more than anything what I care about doing. That's what I'm on a mission to do. My business, from the very beginning of coaching at least, I have felt so passionately about helping women make money doing what they love, which I know is so vanilla, so cliche, so the thing that 9 billion people are saying, and I get it. But I really, really, really do have such a passion and such a fire for helping that person that I met at dinner last night who wants to, start knitting, whatever it is, and talking to her about like the ways that she can monetize that, and whether it's getting on Etsy and making a couple $100s a month, or it's that person who wants to create an actual empire. That is the thing that, again, really, really, really fuels me for so many reasons. But over the past few years, as I've shared with you, I've done a lot of healing work. I feel like I've grown a lot as a human being. And this new kind of layer came into my business that over the past few years, as I was going into this healing work and as so much of this felt new to me, I have struggled to figure out how I incorporate that exactly, right? Because I'll have clients sometimes where we're talking about weight loss. Sometimes we're talking about their sex lives, right? Their dating. We really kind of like run the gamut when it comes to what I'm talking to my clients about. While at the same time, I know I'm not a sex coach. I know I'm not a dating coach. I know I'm not a health coach, right? And so it's like I've been struggling a little bit to, again, put it in a box. And I really like putting things in boxes. I feel very comfortable when things are in boxes, but I've struggled with that over the past few years. But it feels very clear to me now. This is one of those things that was right in front of my face and I just couldn't see it. But the thing is that what I do, what I'm on a mission truly to do, is yes, help women make money doing what they love. That's so deeply important to me that smart, educated, capable women are not going to a cubicle and not miserable at a job working for somebody else, not making enough money. That is so incredibly important to me that women understand what possibilities there are for them in this world. But the other part of it is that I really see so clearly that this entrepreneurial journey has, yes, made me money by doing what I love. And that money and the doing of the things that I love have allowed me to become who I always wanted to be, or who I always knew I could be. Because the fact of the matter is like, if I wasn't making the money that I was making, I probably wouldn't have spent $6,000 a month on a life coach. I wouldn't have done the healing work that I've been able to, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to Miraval for a couple of days. And I wouldn't have been able to do that living paycheck to paycheck, right? I've, again, taken my life essentially in my own hands. I've created the business that I want to create. I've made money doing the things that I enjoy. And that has therefore been the vehicle for me to really be fulfilled in the rest of my life, right? And not to say that I don't think I could have possibly been fulfilled in another way, but I also kind of feel like I don't know how the hell that would have happened without going on the journey that I have, without putting myself out there, so on and so forth. And so again, when the word came to me, it just felt so clear. Of course, again, it's helping women make money doing what they love so that they can live the lives that they actually want to live. Those pieces are so intertwined for me and they're so incredibly important to me. And I'm sharing all of that hopefully as an exercise or an insight into the exercise anyway, for you, because again, I know a lot of you, as I'm recording this live, one of the women, Rebecca, I know that you are somebody who is like a multi-passionate entrepreneur. You don't want to be put into a box. You want to do all the things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not sitting there saying to only do one thing, but I hope you're hearing me when I say that, like, the challenge of that one word and being able to paint it all, again, with one word, not as though I'm going to walk around saying, hey, I'm Sarah and I do fulfillment, right? It's not that, but it gave me so much clarity around my purpose and my mission and being able to say it in a more, passionate way and more excited way. And so again, it was a really powerful exercise for me. And I think it's something that's worth doing for so many of you, especially when you're thinking about, writing your bio, your about page, whatever it is, summing up for, when I think about for press articles, I need to be able to sum up what I do. I can't just write whatever I want to write when I'm submitting things to Cosmo or when I'm submitting my book proposal. I have to sum this up in a more succinct way. And like I said, that challenge for myself, it gave me a lot of clarity and it gave me a lot of just insight around how I wanted to do that. And so I wanted to offer that challenge to you all as well today. The second thing, and again, random episode in the sense that like these are just two random things that are on my mind and things that I'm working on this week. But I'm working with a somatic coach right now, and it's new. We're like 4 or 5 sessions in, but I'm really enjoying the process with her. I've done somatic work with other coaches before, but it was kind of part of what we did instead of like this is like the thing that we're working on. And so all that to say, we were talking about some things when it came to, old memories that are, trapped in my body and, where certain stories came from and all that fun going back work that we have to do over and over again. But we were talking about how hard I am on myself, which sounds very martyry and very victim-y, but it's the God's honest truth. And I'm only beginning to see the beginning of this, right? In the sense of I'm just starting to understand just how hard I am on myself and just how hard I've been on myself when it comes to so many things. And she said something to me really interesting. She was like, do you know what your love language is? And I said, yeah. And I was like, I laugh a little bit about that because I'm like, I feel like they're all of them. I want all of them. I want all the ways to be, I want to be loved in all the ways. But if there were the top two, it's definitely words of affirmation and acts of service. And she was like, I want to challenge you this week to give yourself what those love languages are. Really to take the time and make the effort to give yourself those words of affirmation. Take the time to really give yourself service, to pour into yourself essentially. And I know obviously we've all heard self-care, love yourself, so on and so forth. I'm not saying that's revolutionary, but I know for me, sometimes when I hear something just slightly different, it makes all the difference in the world. And I've never been somebody who's affirmations for me, have never been a big thing, not because they're not valid, just because, I don't know, something about it feels very, well, I should say it this way because I've done it the wrong way. I've gone through the motions and I kind of haven't really felt the things. I wrote the things because I thought I was supposed to, and I was kind of doing it to like check off the boxes instead of really pouring into myself, speaking beautiful words to myself that I would want to hear from somebody else. I've never done that, or at least I've never done it from an intentional, a practice perspective, doing it on a consistent basis. And it's been so enlightening for me over the past week and helpful for me over the past week. And not just for me as a human being, of course, but me as a business owner, me being able to kind of pump myself up and take that 10, 20 minutes in the morning, in the evening, whenever I'm feeling like crap, to be perfectly honest with you, and taking that time and just being like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to beat myself up over the fact that these things should have been done, or I should have moved faster, so on and so forth. Like, I'm really going to stop myself here and take the time to, again, really pour into myself in a positive way. And it has made such a difference when it comes to, again, how I feel about my business, how I feel about everything, right? I have a joke with a couple of my coaches, but I might have said this in the podcast before. I don't remember. When I go to Miraval, I don't want to tell myself the story that I can only be happy and relaxed at Miraval, because that's not true. But when I'm at Miraval, I literally feel like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. You know, in the beginning when she's just walking around the village and just like, bonjour, like just saying hi to everybody. I'm in this totally different energy when I go there because I feel like I've consciously dropped so much of the stress. I'm not on my phone, and I allow myself to kind of operate freely, if you will, in a way that I don't normally when I'm, on my computer most of the day, that kind of thing. And so I'm saying that because I know that feeling, that vibe, that energy of just complete clarity and light. It feels yellow to me. Like, I can't explain it. It's just, it's a color to me. It's just yellow. It's just like golden. It's warm. It's open. It's friendly. It's happy. And it's like, I achieve that feeling when I'm at Miraval, other times too, of course, but it feels like something that can be fleeting. Right. It's something that kind of like comes and goes, or even I was joking with this with a client this week. I think a lot of us as more masculine women, which some of us are when it comes to just how we operate in the world, right, and doing and hustling and all that, we have a good feeling. And my client goes to me, she's like, okay, so like, what do I need to do every single day to make sure that it stays that way? And it was just so funny, like listening to her kind of like masculine her way out of the feminine, feeling a good feeling and then kind of forcing herself to do something to trap it, which is what I feel like I do all the time. And so again, I'm saying that because yes, doing is required for, business success and also for feeling better, right? This healing work actually takes work, right? It's not just about feeling, but it's such again, this whole love language thing is just a reminder for me that all there is love. Love is yellow to me. It's that feeling for me. And it's not just romantic love. It's about everything. It's warmth. I want to go onto, I don't know, a live video or whatever I'm doing. And I want that warmth to be felt, right? And I know that wasn't there for me or for other, like for anyone witnessing me for so long because I couldn't access it within myself, but I can now. And I see so clearly that nothing is more important than feeling that way. Right? So many of us, again, we think we have to do more or create more or sell more or, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this right now because I should get to work or I should work a longer day. I should get up earlier. Nothing is more important to me than feeling filled up and lit up and light. And again, yellow, like the way that I'm describing it. And so taking the time, challenging myself to take the time to do that, to give that to myself every single day, it just makes the world of difference in every single thing I do, not just, again, from the perspective of how I'm feeling, right? Of course, when I'm feeling better, it's going to translate to more money, right? Because people can feel that. But the copy that I write, if I'm sitting there trying to write a sales page, miserable, burnt out, or just exhausted, whatever, versus feeling like I want to pour these words of love and like affirmation into my people that read this sales page, again, of course, it's going to make more money. An email that comes from the place of, oh my God, please buy from me versus the place of love, that email from a place of love to your people is always going to make you more money. And so again, I just wanted to challenge you this week to spend some time reflecting on how you can give yourself your own love languages and ultimately put yourself in a place where, again, you're operating from more of a place of love in your business. And of course, I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not telling you that you're going to meditate for 10 minutes and then money is going to fall from the sky. I know that nobody actually means that, but I know that it's also like a thing where people like to like laugh and like joke that like that's what people mean. And no, of course fucking not. I'm telling you to do that. I'm telling you to anchor yourself in a place of love and then take action from that place, right? Because that is what's going to make you, again, so much more money, create so much more success and so much more fulfillment, which is, again, what I ultimately want for each and every one of you here. And so over the past weekend, well, it's been a few weeks now, we've been working on so many different things. Relaunched the website. It's not fully built out yet. There's a lot more to come, but we have new branding for every program. And so that's going to get unveiled little by little. But the priority, the first thing that we wanted to get done was You're Fucking Welcome, the sales page, the information for that, because number one, it's like the place where I want everybody to be. But number two, because the price is going up in a couple weeks on Friday, July 15th. It's $19 a month right now, and it's going to be going up to $29 a month because, frankly, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there already, but there is going to be more stuff. And so it just felt like the price had to go up, right? But this, again, I feel like I've gotten more clarity around what this community stands for since the last time we officially launched it. And to me, this is about reminding you and reminding the world and creating a space full of women who know and understand that they get to make money doing what they love, and that gets to fulfill their lives. It gets to better them in every single way, and they therefore get to be unapologetic about that, right? I love the fact that we have people in there who are brand new entrepreneurs, and I love that we have people who are making 50, 60, 70, 80K a month, right? Probably more than that. That's just off the top of my head. But I really feel like it lights me up so much to have a space that there are women that can come in and then again talk about, oh my God, love languages. Here's what I learned from this, and be sharing with one another. I want to talk about sex. I want to talk about health. I want people to feel really safe if they're going through something, to come here and to be supported by other women. And it's still in like the newer stages, right, of launching, but I really see for this community it getting just deeper and deeper with all of that and having more and more of a sense of community and more of a sense of, again, safety and inclusion and just women coming together who are on the same mission, right? Supporting one another and feeling not so alone. Because I know that a lot of us as women entrepreneurs, we don't feel normal, right? We're not like everybody else. We're not like the people we grew up with and so on and so forth. And so the more that we can have somewhere to turn and share the crazy things or to ask questions about our ideas or for feedback with people that, I'm not going to pretend you're all going to be, best friends, but there is that sense of trust and there is that sense of safety, or at least that's what I want to create, right? That's my intention. And I really feel proud of the women that are in there. I really feel proud of, I feel like I really attract kind women and people who are not cliquey and people who want to see good for everybody. We're not a bunch of spammy assholes. I really feel like it's a solid group of people and it's only going to grow larger. And so we have everything from a bunch of exclusive content. You have a bunch of programs like Unapologetically You in 22. You've got 21 Days to High Vibe Habits. We've got a You're Fucking Welcome mini course. There are a bunch more. You have more coming. I don't want to announce that yet, but there's a lot more that I'm going to be pouring into that community in terms of content. But we have the live podcast recordings every single Monday, live trainings every single Tuesday. Again, the Facebook group, there's a member directory. There's so much for just $19 a month. And again, it's going up to $29 a month on July 15th. But I would love for you to get in before the price goes up, of course. I mean, you can come in after that as well, but I would love for you to get in over the next couple of weeks to see just all the cool shit that's happening unfold, right? I would love to have you there. And so sarah-jan.com for all the details to sign up. You got immediate access to everything. And I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you took the time to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps the show a ton, and I would be super grateful.